In a village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a young man named Wei. He was known throughout the land for his immense strength and boundless energy. His shoulders were broad, his arms were like tree trunks, and his spirit was as fiery as the summer sun. In that same village lived an old man named Lin. Time had carved deep lines into his face. His back was bent, and his steps were slow and deliberate. He was often seen leaning on a sturdy wooden staff, his movements a testament to a long and weathered life. One day, a decree echoed through the land, a challenge so audacious it captured everyone's imagination: build a stairway to heaven. The reward was not gold or glory, but the promise of ultimate fulfillment. The villagers gathered, their voices a mix of awe and disbelief. A stairway to heaven, it seemed an impossible feat, a task for gods, not mortals. Yet, among the murmurs of doubt, the figure stepped forward. The first was Wei, his chest puffed out with confidence. "I will build this stairway," he declared, his voice booming across the square. "My strength is unmatched. I will reach the heavens before the next harvest." The villagers cheered, their hopes lifted by his youthful vigor. Then, a hush fell over the crowd as a second figure emerged. It was Lin, leaning on his staff. With a quiet, steady voice, he too accepted the challenge. Laughter rippled through the onlookers. An old, frail man building a stairway to the clouds. The idea was preposterous. Wei himself scoffed. "Old man, you'll be lucky to lift a single stone before your time is up." Lin simply smiled, a serene and knowing look in his eyes, and said nothing more. The very next morning, Wei began his monumental task. He worked with a ferocious pace, hoisting massive boulders as if they were pebbles. He carved and placed stone after stone, and in just a few weeks, the base of his stairway was already an impressive sight. The villagers praised him, calling him a hero, a legend in the making. Wei reveled in the admiration, his determination fueled by the crowd's applause. He worked from sunrise to sunset, his body glistening with sweat, his progress swift and undeniable. He looked over at Lin's designated spot and saw only a single, modest stone placed carefully on the ground. Wei laughed. At this rate, he thought, Lin wouldn't even build a proper wall, let alone a stairway to the heavens. Lin's routine was unchanging. Every single day, he would wake before the sun, walk to the quarry, and select one stone. It was never the largest, nor the smallest, but one he knew he could carry. He would then make the slow journey back and place it carefully atop the one from the day before. One stone, every day. The villagers, who once laughed, now began to mock him. "Look at the old fool," they'd say, "chasing a dream with a pebble a day." Children would sometimes run past him, mimicking his slow, shuffling gait. The sun would beat down on him. The rains would soak him to the bone, and the winter winds would bite at his frail frame. Yet, Lin never faltered. One stone, every day. He paid no mind to the jeers, no mind to the weather. His focus was singular, his purpose clear. Meanwhile, Wei's initial blaze of enthusiasm began to flicker. The work was harder than he had imagined. The stones seemed to get heavier, the sun hotter, the days longer. His muscles, once tireless, now ached with a deep, persistent pain. The cheers of the villagers grew less frequent as the novelty of his project wore off. Some days, he would wake up, look at the towering yet incomplete structure, and feel a wave of despair. The end seemed just as far away as it did on the first day. The initial applause that had driven him was gone, replaced by a silent expectation he could no longer meet. He started taking days off, telling himself he deserved a rest. One day of rest turned into two, then a week. The once mighty stairway stood half finished, a monument not to his strength, but to his waning motivation. Eventually, Wei abandoned the project altogether, the shame of his failure too heavy to bear. Years turned into decades. The village changed. Children grew into adults, and adults grew old. Wei became a distant memory, a cautionary tale about pride and unfulfilled promises. But one thing remained constant. Every single day, Lin carried his stone. His back was now more bent, his steps even slower, but his resolve was as unshakable as the mountain itself. His small pile of stones had grown, slowly, almost imperceptibly, into a pillar. The pillar grew into a column, and the column began to spiral upwards. A testament to decades of unwavering discipline, the people of the village no longer laughed. They watched in silent, growing admiration. They saw not a frail old man, but a giant of perseverance. His daily ritual had become a part of the village's own heartbeat. One clear, crisp morning, the oldest villagers, who remembered the day the challenge was issued, looked up towards the sky. Lin's stairway, a beautiful, winding ribbon of stone, now touched the clouds. It was complete. Lin, his hair as white as the clouds he had reached, stood at the base, looking up at his life's work. He hadn't relied on bursts of superhuman strength or the roar of a crowd. He had relied on something far more powerful, the quiet commitment to do one small thing. Consistently, every single day, his journey teaches us a profound truth. True, lasting success isn't always born from explosive talent or fleeting passion. It is forged in the silent, daily acts of discipline. It's about showing up, especially on the days you don't feel like it. It's about laying one stone, writing one page, taking one step, day after day, even when no one is watching, even when the goal seems impossibly distant. Greatness is not a single, heroic leap. It is the sum of countless small, deliberate steps, taken with unwavering consistency. It is the simple, powerful magic of doing a little, a lot. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more tales of wisdom and perseverance.